What is up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be going over how you can best abuse aim assist in Fortnite Chapter 3 Season 2. I know this is something that a lot of people have been looking forward to or asking me about because there's some inconsistencies or some weird aspects of aim assist in Fortnite, and I feel like there's also a lot of people that overestimate how much aim assist is helping other players when really their aim just isn't the best, and they think that since people have better aim than them, it's just aim assist. So we're going to go over a bunch of things with aim assist and aiming in Fortnite in today's video. If you guys do enjoy this video, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you would like to see more, and comment down below which controller you use, Xbox controller or PlayStation controller, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Elite controller. Let me know all that down in the description below. I'm interested to see what type of controllers you guys use. And if you guys do want to follow me on Twitch, it'll be linked down in the description below. All of the gameplay from today's video comes from my Twitch streams. One of the biggest mistakes I see people making in close range when it comes to aim assist, with it being shotguns or SMGs, is that they hard aim down sights. Like, they aim all the way in and they stay aimed in while fighting. And this can be somewhat helpful depending on range. But in the situation I'm talking about where you do not want to do that, is going to be like one box away, or maybe like up to like 1.5 boxes away. If you're that close to your opponent, you probably don't want to be aiming with either your shotgun or your SMG. It can sometimes be okay to like tap your ADS button a little bit to like get a slower sensitivity temporarily, and this will also tighten your spread, like ADS spamming, kind of like old Fortnite. In the past, when you ADS spammed, it would lock onto people. We're not doing it for that aspect anymore, but it still can be beneficial if you need to like lower your sensitivity briefly and, you know, make a small adjustment. Especially with SMGs, the combat SMG can kind of get out of control. It can be okay to hard aim with the combat SMG if you're like several boxes above your opponent or several boxes away from them, because the combat SMG can still fry people at that range. So it's not like you always want to not be aiming, but when you're in really close quarters fights and you hard aim, this slows down your sensitivity so much, and your lower sensitivity, you're going to have like lower aim assist typically, I feel like, as well in those situations, and it's going to be very easy for other people to just completely outpace you with their movement. If you're hard aimed in with your shotgun and they end up crouching or jumping, it's very hard to adjust to that. And then same goes with SMGs and like strafing as well. If you're hard aimed in, your sensitivity is going to be really low, and it's going to be really easy for people to get away from you. So try not to do that. The only time I really stay aimed in with either of these weapons is like mid-range with SMG, or sometimes like on the outskirts of the drum shotguns range, it can be like somewhat beneficial to aim in, but it's really rare. If I do ever aim at all, I'm just like tapping the left trigger like briefly just to get a lower sensitivity for a little bit when I need to make a small adjustment. So stop doing that in close range. You guys have no idea how many times I've seen people do that and then they just get destroyed. Hip fire is typically going to be the best for close range. You're going to have more aim assist this way. You're going to have a higher sensitivity, so you can adjust to people's movement better. And then you can also be throwing in your own movement in there, and that's going to make it harder for your opponents to hit their shots. And that's going to bring us right to our next point. Strafing will typically improve aim assist, in my opinion. This could just be a placebo, but I know this is a thing in other shooters. If you're strafing, you typically get more aim assist, and I feel the same way in Fortnite. It's so hard to like demonstrate this or prove this, but if you're like several blocks away from somebody with your AUG, try strafing when you're shooting, and I feel like you're going to notice the stickier aspect of aim assist much more than much more than you typically would. Also, with people gliding in the air, you pretty much always see me strafing when I'm shooting them. Pretty much, if I'm using the AUG or the MK, I'm always strafing. In the past, you kind of had to think about whether or not you wanted to strafe because you're going to be losing first shot accuracy. But with these first-person assault rifles, I see no reason not to be strafing. Not only is it going to make you a harder target to hit, I personally think you get more aim assist when you're moving. That could be a placebo, like I said. But just from my personal experience and my experience playing other shooters, that's how it feels to me. And I know that is a thing that's common in other shooters. And left stick aiming is really, really beneficial. So this kind of comes into one of the things I was talking about, where you can improve your aim and it's not going to be all aim assist. Left stick aiming or strafe aiming is typically going to be the best way for you to make small adjustments. If you're a little bit off of the opponent, like let's say you're a little bit to the left, if you just move your character to compensate for that, it's going to be much more like consistent than you actually moving your right stick to compensate for it. It's easier to make small adjustments just by moving your character. And this is mainly seen with ARs, but you can even do this with SMGs and shotguns as well. It just makes it so much more consistent aiming when you're aiming off of your movement to make those small adjustments. And like I've said several times, I believe that it does improve aim assist if you're strafing. So strafe as much as you can, and with the MK and the AUG, you're really not losing anything. So you typically are going to you're typically going to want to be taking advantage of that whenever you can. There's many, many benefits to strafing in this video game. The next thing is going to be that you're going to want to avoid fighting around things that remove your aim assist. So things like bushes, tree limbs and branches, like any sort of shrubbery, this will remove your aim assist, and that's not good. If you're fighting somebody in there, you're probably going to be at a disadvantage because your sensitivity is just going to feel way off. If you're fighting somebody in a building around windows, those windows are going to remove your aim assist. This was a bug that was in Fortnite forever, and they ended up fixing it. But when they removed legacy settings in Chapter 2, the fix basically went away because the fix only applied to legacy settings, and the fix was there before like we got linear and exponential. So now you get no aim assist through windows, and it's been like that for like years at this point. I don't know why they haven't fixed it, but yeah, if you're fighting around windows and you're looking through, you're not going to have aim assist. Basically anything that can exist in between you and the opponent just has the ability to remove aim assist for some reason. Like, you know, those IO towers that are around the map, the little like steel beams. If you have somebody in there under the stairs, I feel like you have no aim assist on them there. Furniture can sometimes mess with aim assist. You just want to not fight people if there's something in between you and them. And if you are fighting inside a building, try to put cones down as much as possible because this will break the furniture. It'll provide you some cover. You will get aim assist if they're on the other side of your cone. Like, your building pieces don't affect aim assist the same way. If you make a window edit, for example, you'll have aim assist there. But a window that is on like a pre-built structure like a house, you wouldn't have aim assist through. So if you're fighting inside a building, put cones down. This is going to remove all the furniture. And it's going to give you edit priority on those pieces, which is going to be really beneficial to you. So it's good for piece control. It's going to be good to destroy all of those like structures that could remove aim assist. And just be careful when fighting around any sort of like trees, shrubbery, windows. Just there's so many things that can remove aim assist, and if you're not ready for it, that's when it's going to be like most detrimental to you. Like, if you go into a fight knowing you're not going to have aim assist because of those things, it's much easier to deal with that than if you're just completely caught off guard by it. The next thing is going to be another thing that catches people off guard in Chapter 3. So in Chapter 3, they made it to where if you're spraying too much, your aim assist cuts off. I know that sounds weird, but that is something they did. In the time where you can notice this most frequently is if you're trying to spray into somebody's box and you do not hit them right away. If you spray into somebody's box and you aren't instantly on them, you will not have aim assist immediately when you get in that box unless you stop shooting or switch weapons or something. So if you are spraying into somebody's box, make sure you put your crosshair directly on them while you're doing so. And as you get in, you will start hitting them and then you'll have aim assist. It sounds very strange, I know, but you just want to have crosshair placement on the opponent as you're exploiting in, essentially, or stop shooting, switch to your shotgun, something like that. But I exploit in all the time and with SMGs, and as long as you're on the opponent with your crosshair as you're breaking in, you will hit them, and then your aim assist will like reactivate because you just hit the person, essentially. If you don't hit them, it won't activate. And this is something that you want to be doing all the time anyways. I found it surprising that people weren't doing this. Like, I've seen people suggest this as a way to fix the Chapter 3 aim assist inconsistencies. Like, oh yeah, make sure your crosshair is on the person when you're spraying through. I thought everybody was just doing that, but if you are fighting somebody and you're spraying through their walls, make sure your crosshair is actually on them because you can get damage through the walls sometimes. Even if you're not trying to get in, just make sure if you're ever spraying something, you're trying to spray at the point where the opponent is. This goes for walls, but even if you're somebody who plays zero build, if somebody's hiding behind a tree or a rock and you're shooting it out, make sure you're shooting at a point where you think they are. It can be hard to tell sometimes, but maybe you'll see a little piece of them peeking out that doesn't quite allow you to hit them, but it gives you an idea of where they are. Shoot where you think they are when you're destroying something. And if you do have somebody hiding behind a tree or a rock in the zero build mode, try to make sure you have ammo in your gun to keep shooting them after you break it, because once you break it, they're going to run away or try to go to a new piece of cover. But there's going to be a brief moment in time where you break it, and if you're able to get tags on them right away, you're going to be able to do so much damage. If you watch me play the zero build mode and I'm spraying a tree or a rock on somebody, you'll often see me reloading before I need to when the tree or rock is weak, because I want to be able to like continue to put pressure on them and continue to shoot at them after breaking the structure. So make sure you have good crosshair placement while spraying people. Whether you're playing zero builds or normals, it can allow you to get damage in. And if you are playing normals, be careful just spraying into a box because it can cut your aim assist off. Just spraying in general too much can mess with your aim assist in a weird way. It's something they added in Chapter 3, and I think that's one of the reasons why aim assist is very inconsistent this chapter. But knowing that and playing around it accordingly can help you in those situations. And like I said, I exploit into boxes a lot, and it is something that still works. The next thing that you can change to like fine tune your aim is going to be dead zones. This is something that I feel like a lot of newer players don't understand, but it's a setting in your sensitivity settings called dead zones. And what this is how much you can move the analog stick before movement starts happening on screen. So the lower the dead zone is, the more sensitive your analog sticks are going to be, but it's also going to be like more reactive. And the default setting might be too high to the point where there's like wiggle room where you can move the stick and nothing is happening. You don't want that. In my opinion, you want your dead zones as low as possible where you don't get stick drift. If you just set them to 0 or like as low as possible, you might get some movement even when you aren't touching the controller, because these controllers are mass produced and they're not like perfect. So try to set them as low as possible until you don't get stick drift. This might make your sensitivity feel too fast at first and you might have to turn your sensitivity down, but I think that's better than having a high dead zone where your controller is just not as reactive. Pretty much every shooter I play, I set the dead zones as low as possible. To the point where I'm not getting stick drift. And if you are a controller player on PC, do not touch your mouse or keyboard when you're in a game. This is very weird, I know, and this isn't a thing in other games, but if you touch your mouse or keyboard while you're loading into the game, or maybe you're in the pregame lobby and you're tabbed out on social media or something, and then you tab back in, you might not have aim assist for that entire match. So just once you're in the game, don't touch your mouse or keyboard. When you're loading into the game, don't touch your mouse or keyboard. Just play the game. It's really weird, I know, but that is an aspect of Fortnite, unfortunately, and it's something that hasn't been fixed, and it's been like this for a while. So that is going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys learned something useful. If you did, comment down below what controller you use and what you found most useful about this video. Like I said, don't hard aim all the time in close range. You can maybe tap your aim in button if you want to get like a brief moment where you have a lower sensitivity, but typically you're going to get less aim assist when aiming with either of these weapons, and it's going to be easier for people to outstrafe you. You want to make sure you're strafing as much as possible as well, because it is going to improve your aim assist, and it just makes it easy to make those small adjustments in general. You want to avoid the spots on the map where there's no aim assist, like bushes, windows, shrubbery, any sort of nonsense that's in between you and the opponent can mess with your aim assist. If you're spraying into someone's box, make sure your crosshair is on them. That way, the moment you break the wall, you're doing damage to them. And this is going to counteract the aim assist nerf that they added in Chapter 3 to prevent spraying. Make sure your dead zones are as low as possible without getting stick drift. And do not touch your mouse or keyboard if you're playing on PC. Like I said, give the video a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe, follow me on Twitch, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.